What's going on, everyone? Dennis here, ADC for Fun. Thanks for checking out the video. And right now we're going to do a quick how to disassemble and reassemble the CJRB Pyrite button lock. This one has the full stainless scales. There are no liners. And yeah, we'll get into it. So we'll need a T8. Second T8 because we have screws on both sides of the pivot, and we'll need a T6 for the body screws, which we'll go ahead and take those out now. What we'll do is use this stubby to hold that back there so it doesn't spin. And we'll take our other T8 and pull that out. Oops. There we go. And when we do that, this thing's going to want to come apart, so just a heads up. If you want to, you can go ahead and push the other pivot out, and just know that once you do that, this thing's going to want to come apart. So you can slide that up, spin that off, and you can see I caught right there the spring and the stop pin. So the spring sits in this little pocket there, and the stop pin sits in this little pocket right there. So of course the stop pin is what stops your blade when it opens. All right, so that is your basic disassembly. One interesting thing I noticed, this guy came with a D-shaped pivot. Look at all the witness marks on that thing from machining. Dull tool, I guess. Don't know why this has a D-shaped pivot, because there's no stop, there's no flat spot in there, there's no flat spot in there. So I'm thinking maybe the other models that don't have the full stainless scales, the ones that I guess have liners or whatever, maybe they have a stop and they just use the same pivot assembly for this one. No clue. Where'd our stop pin go? There he is, trying to escape. All right, so now that we've got our part, if you want to go ahead and do whatever cleaning, maintenance in here that you want to do, you can do that. So we're going to put it back together, which can be a little bit tricky with button locks. Anything with a spring can be tricky when you're taking it apart, putting it back together. We're going to take our pivot, push it back through, and you're going to want to keep your finger there so it doesn't fall out as you're working with it. We're going to take our blade. Oops, bearings fell out. Just pop the bearing on there. Slide that on. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the spring in the pocket, and we're going to put the cup of the button on top. And we have to, actually, let me show you this real quick. There's a shelf here where this button needs to sit. So you basically have to get the button in there. By the way, this is one of the reasons why this button lock is more reliable, has a better lockup than other button locks. The way this 90-degree shelf is on both sides gives you a lot more contact points with the button. It's more secure. But anyway, we have to finagle the button in there. Might be other ways to do it, but this is how I do it. Don't lose that spring. So I'm gonna just kind of sit that on there where the blade's not seated all the way, and it's also at like a 45 here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cup the button over the spring and push it down to make sure that it's on properly. Because if it doesn't push down, then it's not seated properly. And now, because the blade was at a 45, the shelf is over here, and also because I had the blade canted, I was able to slide the button under there, so now it's just sitting. So what I can do now is put the stop pin in. Come on. These tiny little parts. There we go. Got the stop pin in there. So now I can go ahead and grab my other scale. Slide that over. Pop that in. And again, my index finger was back here the whole time holding that pivot in so it doesn't fall out. Take the other pivot. And go ahead and snug that down. Now that I have that on there, I'm just going to go ahead and close the blade. And we'll start putting our body screws back in. Snug those down, check our action, make sure it's smooth, there's no grittiness to it. Press the button, make sure there's no lock, make sure that's nice and smooth. Go ahead and open it up, make sure we don't have any blade play. Blade should drop, action should be good. So we'll just give everything just a little bit, not even like a 16th, just so we know it's snug on there. Check it again. So we did get a little bit of stick in here. So I'm just gonna back that off. It wasn't sticking before. So we'll back that off just a hair. There you have it. That is how you disassemble and reassemble the CJRB Pyrite button lock. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Have a good one.